All right. Again, thank you to all the audience member that came out, to sit in this committee with us. Just to reaffirm, there is no audience participation. There's no questions from the audience. This was strictly with the committee. Everyone up here, this panel here will ask the questions. We have two additional individuals on the opposite side that can also ask questions, answer questions. So what I would like to start off with is, if I can, Ms. Dukestein, I'm going to give you the floor, and if you can give me an introduction of the individuals that's here today, I'll be very appreciative.
So upon request, the ad hoc committee asked that RWB come and speak on some specific questions that were addressed via email. So I am hopeful that you are able to ask questions in that framework. I'll go down the line. This is Rodrigo Williams, Larry Bryant, and Randy Blitz. They have different roles and positions over at RWB. I don't know their specific titles. So then with that, I'll let them introduce themselves, and then you can jump right into a Q&A. I would ask that we stick to the questions about 1500 and go from there.
All right, before you get started, I just want to make sure everybody understands on this committee, you guys, when they start answering the Q&A, any questions that arise, please just write them down, and we'll submit them to give them an opportunity to answer them at our other meeting that will be scheduled before I leave here today. So other than that, floor is yours, sir.
How you doing? My name is Rodrigo Williams, CEO of RWB.
I'm Larry Bryant, Vice President Operations.
Randy Benz, Field Superintendent.
Well, gentlemen, I would like to thank you and really do appreciate you guys taking out the time out of y'all day to sit in on our committee. The purpose of this committee here today is to determine the future of 1500. Some questions were submitted to you guys to to try and help us, more understand, to give us a better insight to the final decision that will come out of this committee. So, with that being said, Ms. Dukestein.
I'm going to give a brief overview of the company.
Yes, sir. Please, go ahead.
Again.
You guys speak in the mic.
Yeah, speak in the microphone so they can hear you.
Okay, so I am Larry Bryant, Vice President Operations. RWB Properties and Construction LLC is an interior finishing, contracting, construction management company. We've been in business since 2008. We are responsible for between 10 and 11 scopes that we perform for different customers and clients. Those 11 scopes being interior scopes, drywall systems installation, acoustical ceiling installation, flooring, doors and hardware, cabinets, countertops. Anything on the inside of a building, we are the ones that perform that task. We are also the proud owners of 5 additional companies, which are B&B Mechanical. We have 20 unionized plumbers under the umbrella of RWB family of companies, RWB Trucking, RWB Environmental, and Huber Lumber Company. These are all companies that we oversee and supervise. We look forward to providing you a pleasant contracting experience on the project that we're hopeful that you guys will award us. And with that, I'll turn it over to Rodrigo.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. You can turn it over to Q&A.
Apologies. The floor is yours, my man. I apologize. The questions.
We can just start from this side and go down.
All right.
If you have any specific questions that you want to ask, I just want to remind you all that it should be relative to the 1500 building and the state or the AIA.
Hi, my name is Jillian, and I just had, I guess just relating to asbestos and the asbestos abatement and mold remediation questions, because I want to make sure everybody has a chance, and I have quite a few questions. So I was wondering if there's like a specific plan that you guys follow when remediating mold and abating asbestos.
The answer to that is yes. Let me make sure I pull this out. We have a sub partner called West Tech. They specializes in asbestos abatement. I can share the proposal as well. It kind of breaks out the outline of what they propose to remove from the building and their ways and methods of removing it. So I can actually share this document if you guys want to take a look at it.
That's okay. I'll take it and we can copy it.
And then, do they carry specific liability insurance relating to the asbestos and mold removal?
Yes, they do.
Fantastic. Do they follow the ANSI/IARC S520 standard and NESHAP standards?
I'm sorry, say what now?
It's like almost, I guess, EPA and then state
Yes, they do.
standards.
Yes.
Fantastic. Will they be cleaning out the HVAC system?
There'll be another company to come out to clean the HVAC system
Another
out.
company.
So what happens as far as sequencing, we'll have the West Tech come in and they'll bait it. So they'll
Okay.
bait all the asbestos in there. And then we'll scrub the air. And once we scrub the air, we'll do a test to make sure it's clean. Once it's clean, then we'll bring the demo contractor in to start doing the demolition inside the building.
Okay, and I assume they'll be doing like the documentation that includes their steps, certifications, pre and post results?
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
And then are they removing just the visible mold and asbestos, or will they be removing all of it, period?
But when the report that was given to us, I'm not sure if you guys are privy to that, but there's a report given to us that highlights the areas of asbestos in there.
Okay. And then do you guys have, like, if you were to start like tomorrow, do you guys have an estimated timeline?
Weather permitting, now that the winter is here,
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to say.
Okay.
But we can mobilize after the holidays if that was the case.
And then I was just curious, how do you guys usually communicate progress and then like if you found something unexpected?
Well, we typically have weekly meetings on the job site. But once we have an identified point of contact, if we identify something on the site, we'll make a phone call or email, ask for someone to come out on site, take a look at it, have a conversation about it.
Okay. And then I do have some others, but I'm going to pass it off.
Okay. Well, hello. My name is Brielle Gaston, and I currently sit on City Council, and I am thrilled that you guys are here. I have a couple of questions, but I'm going to try to keep it brief so that you guys can answer them. My biggest question for you guys today is, what does bring the building to a white box state actually entail? What is the cost of that? What does that look like?
Well, that's the whole scope of our work.
Okay.
What that basically entails is you have your outside of your buildings complete, the roof, the gutter system, your windows and doors. That is a sealed out building. And then on the inside of, no, it is just the side that is, that's the mold, everything's in, right? We're not touching the other side, right?
Correct.
Right, so on the inside, it's, once the mold, everything's gone, you're gonna have, it's basically called a white box. And it's a white box for a reason. It truly is
Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt. Do me a favor, if you can speak into the mic so
Yep.
those can hear you in the back.
Yeah, absolutely. So it truly is it's a white box. When we're done, we have all of our kill spray, all of our mold remediation spray that is all done, all painted everywhere. And then where the windows and the old mold, where the, have you been in there? Have you guys seen it?
So I will say this. I have been in there numerous times. I've been in and out looking at the building, so I'm kind of familiar with what you're saying. So, like I said, the committee here, some of the members here might not have been
Right, that's what I
inside or
was
seen
wondering,
it.
how
So-
explain, how detail and explain. So if you're inside the building on the exterior walls, you have all the windows that are in place. Around those windows, typically on the exterior walls only, the inside's block, but on the inside of the exterior side of the building, there's drywall that comes up and back to the window. That is all molded, shot. Once the new windows are in, that will all be replaced back with drywall, and it's called taped. It's just it's a coat of mud, everything's sealed. So that's basically called a white box. It's ready, it's 100% ready for a finish. So if you guys chose to blue walls, put electric in, whatever you wanted to do after that fact, it's 100% ready for that. Clean, safe to walk in and presentable.
So so the electricity and all that stuff would be after that.
Yes.
Awesome.
We will have temporary lighting, of course, but yes.
Yes. Okay. Cool. That's good to know.
Yeah, so just want to clarify that.
Yes.
Okay. We're not removing any mechanical systems when we demo. So
Okay.
those systems will be there, okay?
Okay.
When he said a white box, it's set up to, if you was to sublease out to someone else who maybe wanted to add daycare or whatnot, it's there. So that person comes in to do a tenant build out, that's when they'll add their electric, HVAC, plumbing, et cetera.
Yes.
Got it. So.
So we took this space here, if we demoed this entire area out, right?
Yes.
Yeah, speaking the microphone for me.
If we demoed the space you're currently sitting, we could turn this into a white box. It's just a term that is used for a space that is ready for retrofit or renovation, pure and simple. So just tear everything down, new drywall, new tape, new mud on the floor and everything. No mechanicals, no sinks, no faucets, no anything like that. It's all ready for the tenant, whomever you're gonna lease or rent it out to, and that contractor would come back in and make any of those renovations.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
So I just wanted to kind of piggyback and clarify, the goal was stabilization. It was not to remodel. So that is a basic quote that we received for that purpose. That's why we talked about the ad hoc committee, to talk about where we would go with the plans thereafter.
Okay. So, for lack of better words, it sounds like once you guys do the white box state, then we would come in and do the rest of the stuff to make it fit for whatever it is that we would like to see.
Whatever the end use is, correct.
Awesome. There was a question earlier that talked about the asbestos, and I want to make sure I heard correctly. Will all of the asbestos be removed from the building, or just the exposed asbestos?
All asbestos on the report will be removed from the building.
Yeah, he's speaking the mic. So, excuse me for a second. All right, so I will do my best to make sure I remind everyone to speak in, but do not yell from the audience, please. I don't want to confuse anyone. I want to make sure that we can get all the information out as possible. So just anyone in the audience, just keep it down for me. All right, gentlemen, if you have to speak into the mic so that way the folks outside that's watching and then the individuals in here can hear you also.
Okay. So all the asbestos that was noted and identified per this document
Yes, sir.
will be removed.
Okay.
And
So-
we will scrub the air and pretty much give you a clean bill.
Okay, awesome. So another question that I have, I'm not sure if you can answer this for me, but does the existing building meet current fire safety codes for like fire suppression, smoke contamination, sprinklers, alarm, all that stuff? Are you guys involved with that, bringing it up to ADA compliance, so on and so forth?
No, it wasn't.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Mr. Wilson?
Ms. Dukestein.
So that is actually on the agenda in a different space, because I wanted to talk about that. I actually did follow up with Bill Knight, and because I think Susie Whitlisbach had asked that during a couple of meetings back, and the building was actually brought to compliance before we left it. So the bathroom, all of those spaces. So I was able to confirm that information. I got that confirmation from Bill Knight.
Okay. So just kind of to piggyback off of our city administrator, so would you guys so you wouldn't be involved in the ADA bringing up to code or anything like that?
Oh,
Not on this phase. Okay, perfect. So it's a little bit over $700,000 for the white box state. would it be safe to assume that it could be another 700 to $1 million to do phase 2?
You can't assume that. It all
Okay.
depend on you guys, what your end use is gonna be. So until we saw that print, we couldn't tell you how much it'll be.
Okay, because it's, for me, it's very important to know how much the entire project is going to cost us. So I was hoping that that would kind of help drive our decision. So I have other questions, but for the sake of time, I will hold them and allow someone else to
Is
speak
this-
next.
Ms. Brooks?
Hi, thanks for coming. So you answered the question about white box, so thank you. You mentioned the roof, so because there's an east wing and a west wing, when it comes to, you mentioned sealed, you said something about being sealed.
Yes, well, that is also.
You gotta speak into the mic, my guy.
In our proposal, we do have the roof in there as well, and that is completely tearing off the west side. The east side, I believe we had some patchwork on that, correct?
That's both roofs, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that will get an all-new complete roof, tear-offs and redone.
You said patch on the west side?
The
No.
west side is the bad roof. That is where all the mold, all of the issues are at. The east side is actually usable. It's a usable space, heated and all of that. The west side is destroyed.
So I want you guys to envision, if you guys toured the building, the right side is actually usable. What you would see on that side, you have a brand new roof, all new exterior windows, and new storefront doors coming in. Left side would be like a white box, new roof, all new exterior windows, and again, a new exterior front doors.
So the other part of my question is, when we mentioned this, I think at our last meeting, that when a building is vacant, deterioration happens much more rapidly. And I think your estimate was from back in June. And I also know from conversations with the Burgess and Nyepel folks, even their assessment, they were like, well, we didn't go behind walls, so we don't know what it could be like even before it was vacant. In doing work like this, have you, I know it's super specific, I'm sure, depending on square footage and all of that, but when you're dealing with structures and you start taking drywall, et cetera, down, it can be like peeling an onion. You can kind of find things. What would you say you anticipate in situations like this with the mold and asbestos, what you may find once you start demo, and maybe the costs, approximate or generalized costs that could be associated with work like this?
You have a block foundation, that building is. All of the interior walls are all block. What drywall is there, it is glued and or furred to the block, which is coming down regardless. So there won't be anything that is not going to be foreseen other than up in the ceiling where the ductwork and all that stuff that is to remain. Some of that insulation, everything may have to be removed. That building's been leaking for a very, very long time and is just getting worse. And if you go through another winter, it's just going to be that much worse. Those would be the only foreseens, but as far as any additional mold or anything, no, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Only because it's a block foundation. Other than that, you're 100% correct.
Okay, thank you.
Is that so, yeah. All right,
Hi, thank you all for coming. The only question I have to ask is, doing you all work that you all do, removing asbestos and mold and everything, can you say that the building will be sustainable for use?
100%.
Yes.
Thank you.
all right. Well, gentlemen, you know, as the chair, I don't have a lot of questions for you guys because I pretty much reviewed everything that was coming in, and I'm gonna say I'm 100% confident in what you guys presented it to us. It's this committee that, I appreciate you guys coming out and, being there, taking the time to answer their questions. before we move forward, is there any additional questions you guys have?
Mr. Chair.
All right, Ms. Gaskins.
So I understand that we are under some restrictions if we utilize certain dollars, but if we don't go that route, a lot of people would like to know, what would it look like if we demoed the left side of the building and kept the right side of the building there? Would you guys be able to do that? Would you subcontract that? What would that look like?
We would subcontract that out.
Okay. Okay. Is it possible to have excuse me for not knowing the proper terms, but it's called like a LEED, LEED, ready civic facility, where it's just environmentally friendly and it is, I'm losing my words here because I'm not in construction, but would it be possible to kind of like upgrade it so that when it is time to put facilities in there, that we have good Wi-Fi and it's just compatible and something that we can be proud of in 20 years?
Well, that would be your phase two. Again, our scope would be pretty much to stabilize the building. Your next phase two, that's where you come in with your lead, which would be your lecture, your smart lights, and everything that you asked in.
Yes.
That'd be phase two in your build out.
Okay, so perfect.
Yeah, your lead is your installation values and your they have air tests. Once the doors close, they do a leak down test on, that's what all your lead stuff is, and that is in your second phase and your finishes, whatever build out you guys choose to do.
Okay.
Oh. So I'm gonna move on. Thank you for them two.
Ms.
Julian,
Johnson?
you got 2 questions.
I only get 2 more questions?
Yeah, just 2 more questions. I allow her 2 questions. I'm gonna allow you 2 more questions. Guys, we got to keep it within the frame. I do not want to do an entire Q&A with these gentlemen. They answered the questions that we submitted. If you guys didn't get a chance to submit additional questions from what was given, what they already had, what was given, that was the information that was presented in the previous meeting. You guys asked these questions. These gentlemen were willing to come out and answer them.
Okay, so if we have further questions pertaining to step 1, they'd be able to come back out.
Yes, so I'm allowing you 2 more. You can ask 2 additional questions. I just allowed Ms. Gaskins 2 additional questions. I'm going to allow you 2 additional questions, and then the rest of the committee too.
Okay, so I guess my first question wowould be, I know Burgess and Nyepel gave us a report. Do you guys do something similar? If so, can we get like signed, stamped documentation giving the professional opinion, like if we would see that return on investment, that the overall structure is sound, along with the building is sound, compliant with codes, and then also the condition of the HVAC, plumbing and electrical systems, just so we can compare if you guys do that.
I think there's like 3 questions you asked. Can you break it down to, I'm sorry.
I was just asking for documentation from the company that's signed, stamped, that included if we would see the return on the investments, if the structure was sound, if the foundation was sound and compliant, that sort of thing. If you guys did that, that was the question.
No, we did not do that.
Okay. And then my other question is just thinking about potentially consideration for next steps, what the company's cost per square foot for demolition would be.
I don't have that available. I can email it to you guys.
Okay,
I have
thank
this
you.
contract to come take a look, walk it, and give you guys a price for that.
Thank you.
And I'll just be clear, when you say demo, is that the entire building or just the left side?
Just per square foot, what's your typical demolition rate?
Okay.
All right, Ms. Brooks, you have any additional questions?
Just one, sorry. So, again, you won't be able to answer specifically, or maybe, based on the companies that you mentioned, you had, I'm sure site selection has been part of that, kind of evaluating investments, et cetera, before you move forward on a project. I think for us, at least me, in our community, folks have talked about that Burgess and Nyepel evaluation. And one of the things I think that's hard for people to wrap their heads around is because that report really says, hey, it's kind of not worth it. They don't use the word it's a sinking ship, but why invest more money? Because you've seen the building, definitely more recently than I have. Can you speak to that from your expertise in evaluating properties and whether to go forward or invest or not?
Well, that's a difficult question. We don't have a crystal ball, right?
Right.
And you're looking for some sort of absolution, if you will, as to whether or not we can determine whether or not at the conclusion of our work, the value of that building moving forward. That's sort of like in a financial guise, if you will. We are unable to do that. What we can say is that typically when we are brought in to renovate building structures, whatever the case may be, depending upon the extent of which...
They can't hear you in the back. Yeah.
It's just a difficult thing to do. But what I would say is that when we are brought in to renovate buildings on various projects or whatever, that investment is money well spent. And depending on what the end use is, of course. But as far as us being able to tell you whether or not something's going to have a certain value, no one is able to determine that for you.
What you can do, in case you guys are not aware or whatnot, we actually just built the pickleball restaurant right across the street. And what we did was we did a subject to appraisal. So you can hire appraisal to come out, and you can take this document that we give you guys a scope. And you could say, hey, if all this work was completed, what would this property be worth? And they can give you a subject to appraisal. And that let you guys know the value of the property.
Thank you. That's helpful.
Not at this time.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, I really do appreciate it. You know, I got 3 minutes left, so I'm going to take this time to say thank you. You know, for real. Like,
Mr. President.
It's late. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ms. Dixon.
I have one question. I wanted to circle back to Jillian's question.
Okay. Go ahead. I'll
Jillian,
give
were
the
you
floor.
asking them in terms of their question, had they performed the work, or would they give their stamp of approval once work performed?
You mean like documentation wise?
Yes.
I was just comparing to like what we had received from Burgess and Nybel, where they were able to say, you know, your systems look like this looks like that. I was just curious if their company did anything similar, but it doesn't sound like they
Before or after?
do. Just before, like the condition of the building.
So we would not need to do that before. After the work is complete, so that's and you can correct me if I'm wrong, then they would go back and give seals of approval in all of the spaces to make sure that the building forward is occupiable on the west side. Oh, I'm sorry, the east side, and then the west side would just be white box. If you're asking, can they give a stamp prior to that? It has the same conditions as it, probably even worse, as Burgess and Nybel did. They would not do that beforehand. That would be something you do after.
Yeah, just by signed and stamped, I meant typically when engineers come out, they have a sign or a stamp of approval that they put on their recommendations to kind of make it, I guess, official. So I was just curious if they did something like, cause the foundation's going to remain the same. We're not touching the foundation. Same thing with like HVAC, plumbing, electrical. That was all things that were mentioned within the Burgess and Nybel report. So I was just curious if we had anything similar to compare it to, since, you know, just for comparison purposes. But they said that that wasn't something they did.
Is that the right answer
Or-
still?
That's correct.
Okay.
Again, RWB, thank you guys for coming out and answering our questions, helping us, you know, put 2 and 2 together, figure out, you know, the end result for this. I would like to say, you know, thank you guys for being a part of the community. I really do appreciate the work you guys are doing. College Station look good over there. I can't wait to get over there and try and catch you on that court, because I know you're going to lose. Yeah, I'm down to catch you on there. So, you know, but, you know, thank you guys. Appreciate it. I hope you guys can, you know, hang around for this next hour or so If not, you know, wish you guys a happy holiday. And again, thanks for coming out.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. Thank you so much.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I do have additional questions, so how would you like me to get those addressed?
So if you can just send them in a text message, email over to, Ms. Tychester. I'm pretty sure she's watching the, meeting. And then we will send them to the, proper location to get addressed.
So the rest of my questions won't be answered by RWB?
I'm pretty sure that that's probably how they'll reach out to answer them questions if they're regarding RWB. Whoever, you know, once we send it to the individual to take care, I'm pretty sure they'll reach out to RWB to get them questions answered. So,
Questions that she had were pertaining to the pages on there.
But it's number 2 on the agenda. Okay.
so, I'm gonna move on to the, Ms. Dukestein, you have the agenda, right?
I do. Just before you guys head out, Rodrigo, just a second. There was one, we have Burgess and Nyepel on there because I believe it was Miss Gaston sent over this kind of breakdown of the pages, and there was a specific one on 2 pages. It was page 264 and 278, and I'm going to speak to it, but I'll just have you co-sign if I'm saying anything wrong. But the type of mold that they're referring to is black mold. That big fancy name is black mold, and it is completely they're able to remediate that fully. I just wanted to kind of clarify that because you had that spelled out. I was thinking that you were going to answer that or ask that in the time frame, but you did not choose to. So I just wanted to make sure that we addressed that before they left, because I don't want you to take my word for it because I'm not the expert. But again,
Mr. Chair. I'm sorry.
So what's that,
Go
Ms.
ahead,
Julia?
Gaston.
What I was going to say was I understood that word and I knew it was black mold. My purpose for that is to make sure that everybody on the committee had access to the Burgess and Nyepel's report and to pay special attention to those pages like I had when I was on council, so that everybody had all the information.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I know time is of the essence, but I think that it is very important that as a committee, we address all questions that this committee has for RWB. They came out, I know they're leaving, but it's very important to some of these questions. I don't know if they would even have another time to come back. Ms. Dukestein is shaking her head no, but I think it's important that any questions that are had, so this, I'm sorry, merry-go-round of
Miss-
what if, what's this, or what have you, that those questions can be addressed.
Well,
Thank you,
excuse me,
Madam.
I don't mean to cut you out. Gentlemen, do y'all got a couple of more minutes to answer some additional questions? Yeah, okay. All right, so what I will do is, again,
you got a headache. You want water?
all right, again, I want to say thank you again because you gentlemen are willing to give us that extra time. So with that being said, I will start. Okay, so Ms. Brooks, do you have any additional questions for RWE?
I don't know what's on page, do you say 264 and 268 of the Burgess and Nyepel report?
264 and 278, those were ones that Ms. Gaston sent out in an email highlighting just for you all to pay attention to those pages once I sent out the document.
We don't have that, we just have numbers like that.
Ms. Dukestein. Ms. Dukestein. The ADA compliance, would they be able to answer? Okay, gotcha.
Mr. Chair.
Ms. Gaskins.
Okay. So, so we're gonna get a total new roof on both sides, and so the roof would live as long as a typical roof. And what would that be for this type of a building? The life expectancy of this roof.
I can't even read it. That's how bad I am. Headache hurts so bad I can't even see it. Should be EPMD roof.
This is it, the warranty language is not on here, though.
Yeah, it's over 30 years.
The typical warranty for the EDPM roof would be,
Could you speak into the
the
microphone?
typical warranty for the EDPM style roof would be 20 to 30 years.
Okay, nice. So as you guys are aware, on the right side of the building, we had the roof replaced, and I think if we haven't already made our last payment on it, we have one more left. So I wonder if there would be a warranty on that, and would it behoove us to fix that side and then replace the west side? Would that change the cost of the whole project?
This has been years since we looked at this.
Early spring. But yeah, it definitely will come down if you guys decide not to do the right side of the roof. Yes, it will be a deduction from the scope of work.
Okay.
We do not have any warranty clause that we can look into for the roof. We already looked down that avenue multiple times. It needed a repair that did not get done. So when we only did half, it caused hardship on the other side, and it voided the warranty.
Okay. I'll let you go.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I do have just a few more questions. It was mentioned that this proposal was from back in like the spring. Is this something that's going to expire, or has it already expired? When would you guys want to go back out and make sure that these numbers are still accurate?
We just need to go back to our suppliers for the windows and doors to make sure, because the influx of material prices. So we can definitely go back and take a look at that.
Okay. And then my other question was on this proposal, or I guess list of proposals. There's like a number off to the very far side, and it goes 1, 2, 7, 8, 9. I was wondering if that's typical for it to skip numbers, or if there was stuff that was removed, or like kind of why it goes like that.
So you can ignore that, but in our construction world, that relates back to yeah. So like for example, thermal insulation, that'd be Division 7.
Okay.
So Division 1, Division 2. So those are divisions in our construction world.
Okay, cool. And then do you guys provide, since I guess, the roof warranty is void, I was wondering if you guys provided warranties or guarantees on the work that you guys did.
Yes, we give a warranty on all work that we do.
Fantastic. Thank you. That's all I have.
Mr. Chair.
Ms. Gaskins.
So with the amount of work that we're going to do in phase 1 to get it to a white box state, there has been conversations about so much work being done that we have to bring the building up to compliance. And I know you guys work on doors and windows. So the storefront door that you guys would put in, would that be ADA accessible where it would automatically open? Would it be that? Or would it just, what would it be like?
We're just going back in kind, pretty much changing, going one for one. So what you see, we'll go back and put that same door in there.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it had the electronic to it or not.
It did.
Yeah, so no, it's just
It did
one
or
for
did
one.
not?
It's one of them does, one of them does not.
Okay. Okay, cool. I see you have a question. I'll let you go. I'm trying to gather my thoughts.
I just got my roof done. So what is the warranty for a roof or the roof?
Material is, I believe, 20, 30 years, and the labor is 5 years.
Thank you.
All right.
So- One more question.
Go ahead, Ms. Gaskins.
Is there a set of drawings to kind of see the set of the scope of what you guys are going to do?
No, there's no drawings for this.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen of the committee, if there is not any other questions, I would like to let these gentlemen go about their holidays. All right. Thank you again, gentlemen. Appreciate for the extra time. Again, I'm gonna catch up with you, Rodrigo.
Yes, sir.
Get on that court.
Hope to
You
see
too.
you guys in a couple of weeks when we open them doors across the street.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, Ms., the ADA compliance was the letter from Bill, right?
No.
Okay, so do you still need to discuss this?
I just wanted to give an update, which I did do already.
Okay.
And that is, one, what Ms.
apologize.
Gaston asked in terms of one of the doors being handicap accessible. All of the bathrooms were updated. The bathrooms were updated before we left the building on the side that we would be using if that portion of the building was restored. I'm sorry, not restored. If the building roof was replaced on that side and we were to walk back into it, the bathrooms that are on that side are already up to code with the bars and the large spaces. It just was something that came back, and I checked with Bill because I'd remembered actually there was a grant that Mr. Mosby used to make the building compliant. And so I just wanted to circle back because that was something that had been talked about prior.
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
All right, well,
Mr. Chair.
Jillian's saying something.
yeah.
Sorry. I just had a really quick question about ADA. Can we have the signed documentation for that just so I can like see it and like read through and understand like fully?
Signed documentation from Bill Knight?
I'm not sure who would be whoever it needs to come from.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
are you saying you want signed documentation saying that the bathroom is up?
Yeah, that the building is up to code ADA wise.
Okay.
I mean, if
I
you've been in the
misunderstood.
bathroom over there,
I
you probably remember.
misunderstood. For some reason, I was thinking you were just pertaining to the bathroom, but
Oh,
you're pertaining
sorry.
to,
Yeah, the
Okay.
entire building, because
I'll have Bill Knight go back over there and just write a letter. That would be our inspector, who's certified by the state of Ohio to
had
give
to
us truthful
approve it
information.
once it was done.
Yes.
all right, thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Ms. Gaskins.
So my last question that I asked about drawings for the building. So the work that we're going to have done to this building, do we need a permit for that?
Yes, we would need some, whatever we need. I mean,
They know what to,
yeah, they know what we need. I don't know specifically what permits. That's honestly nowhere near my area of expertise, but we would work with Bill Knight to gain those requirements and make sure that the city was compliant in that way.
Okay, because it was my understanding, based off of what I understood, that you would need drawings and scopes and all of that stuff to show so that you can get that permit.
You need drawings when you're changing the purpose. And I said that isn't my expertise, but I actually have another case for another situation where I just walked through this email path for another business represented here in North College Hill. So if you're going to change the scope of use, then you would need drawings, but to just take care of stabilizing, no, you don't.
the permit is to do the work.
On what's his
Drawings is when you're changing the
Or building.
purpose, and it's not,
Right.
and when I
Yeah,
say purpose, the specific language, I'm saying purpose, but it is the function. Let me see, Yes, this is Bill Knight's response. Under the provision of the Ohio Building Code, if you are changing the use of the building, that is a statement that came from Bill Knight just today. and he would be the person that we would lean to for that perspective.
Okay.
So,
So-
Mr. Chair,
And
Yes, go-
just so we are clear, can you tell us again what exactly it is that you want, so we can make sure you want a statement from Mr. Knight?
Yeah, statement something to the terms of certifying that the building is up to all current ADA
Okay.
codes, laws.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again? I was just making sure that I was reading everything correctly on that prior question.
Just like documentation stating that the entire building is up to code when it comes to the laws, codes of ADA compliance.
Okay.
So, Madam Mayor,
Yes,
or I
ma'am.
guess anybody, so if the current use of the building was a school, an elementary school, and we're taking it to a white box state, wouldn't that technically be changing the purpose of the room so that we can put, I don't know, soccer in there, Brielle's makeup parlor? You see what I mean? We're still changing it, so.
So to be clear on this, since I'm reading through this as we speak, so at the point in which a person who leased it out or we decided to do something different with the other side of that, then we would have to get the drawings at that point. But because we're just stabilizing, that doesn't have to be done. And we already paid for those drawings when we changed the purpose the first time, when it went from a school to our administrative buildings. So that is, we're just on one side, we're not doing anything on the inside that would change the use. So then on the other side, we're white boxing it, and when their use becomes, when there is a use for that side, that's when we would be required to do that.
Got it. Okay, good. So the contents of the things that are in the 1500 building, so like DAV's items, the Historical Society, are those items still in there? Are they getting, okay, so we don't have a plan for getting those items out and storing them? What does that look like for phase one?
So what we had talked about a while ago is allowing them to get containers and having them, they agreed, I wish they were here for that part, but they agreed to kind of build a temporary wall so that they would not be exposed. We were hoping to do that in warmer weather, and they're actually going to help them move their things, DAV, and just store them in trailers or what have you. I mean, at this point, I really don't know. DAV has been, they've been around, but they have not asked us any further questions about their things. The Historical Society was allowed by mayor to get some things out, I believe.
They took someone in to inspect their items.
And so what they wanted to do to help their safety, those different auxiliaries, is to build a temporary wall and then release staff to help them get their items into safe spaces, store them in like those containers that you can store to leave there, and then do the building to create the safety and stabilization, and then help them move back in.
all right. So that will be the end of that. You have, that's all. So the next 30 minutes will be Ms. Dukestein's floor for the survey. Or do you just have an update for it?
I just have an update. There's just,
Okay, well,
I'm still collecting. There's been a few more respondents, and I know you all asked for me to send the results, but I didn't think it was fair for me to send the results until we got an end date, so I just wanted to clarify that.
all right, well,
And I encourage many people to take the survey. The survey does scan to make sure that you can only make one submission.
Mr. Chair,
yes.
I had a question about that. Do you know, by any chance, do you have the survey up right now or anything?
I do,
Okay.
but I don't have my thing connected to
It's fine. I was just curious if you knew how many people had filled out question 10, where they were able to put in any additional comments, or if that number's not yet populated since the survey hasn't closed yet.
It says, so I built it so that you can't move on without responding. So people put even a dash in there, no, NA, all kinds of responses. But I can eliminate those and put in the words where there were actual contributions. I was going to share it all so that I don't have any, so that you could see transparently what I could see.
I appreciate
And
that.
then you can just kind of, I don't know what I can do once I tally, but I wasn't going to remove anything so that you all can transparently see what I can see.
Okay, thank you.
Right now, it just gives the total number of people. I
Yeah,
believe, who
if
filled
it's
it
not,
out.
I understand if it's not there, because sometimes they're a little bit difficult before they close. But if you had a total number, like, that you could give us for number 10, because I believe that's the one that, I don't know about everybody
It's
else. but-
311 responses at this time.
Okay, I was just curious because I know for me personally, that's what I'm going to focus on, since that one was where everybody would have been able to put in.
Express their,
Express,
yeah,
like,
absolutely.
if the option wasn't presented in number 6, since there's really only, I guess, one option at this point that was listed in 6, that way we could look at that with a little bit finer detail.
Absolutely. I think that's a really good way to think about it. And what that enables us to do is to kind of take those categories and take those responses and incorporate that in question 6 as well. Because you could just, plug those into those already listed categories or create another one. So agreed. I agree 100%.
Yeah, because when I saw that, my biggest concern was that since we've discussed, like, the survey was put out, it was discussed, the ARPA funds, don't want to say that too loud, but the ARPA funds were discussed a part of it, so it kind of eliminated some options that are now back on the table, and then we were told one of the options that was there isn't able to be done anymore, so I just want to make sure we're able to get as much community input, that way we can look at the survey, the town hall, we can look at the comprehensive plan, Braille survey, all of that, to get a very good picture of what the community wants and needs. So I thank you so much for that.
All right, so at this time, I'm gonna allow the committee to address any concerns that you're having, anything that came up, like, something that we need to talk about. I mean, all of us are sitting here. Is there something you want to share
Mr. Chair.
with us? All right, go ahead, Ms. Gaskins.
This is just for clarification because I'm looking at the current survey that I did take. Is there a way that we're going to be able to tell the age of these 311 citizens? Are they all over the age of 18, you believe?
Yes, there's a question in here that requires, I think that I put that in there.
I think we only have in here how long we've lived here.
Yeah. There aren't any, I guess I did not put an age requirement in there, but we are not including, I didn't include any distribution in any spaces where I would believe that children, when I went around, I got a lot of, most of the responses were me going around on Fall Festival Day. If you remember, I had the well, I don't know if you remember or not, but I had the QR, the code, and I just had it on a piece of paper. I did the same thing Election Day, and you will see that those spikes. So Election Day are definitely adults. And then that is like the lion's share of when I got the responses. I put it out on social media. There's multiple social media platforms.
Would you encourage additional canvassing so that we can get more numbers to hit that 400 number you're looking for?
I would encourage additional canvassing. The deadline is in 5 days. I've been doing I went down my street, I went down Richards, so.
Good to know.
Mr. Chair.
Julian.
So I was curious, you've mentioned quite a few times that you've been inside the building. I was wondering if it would be possible for, if any of us wanted to, for us to plan a day where we could go in and actually see, get some, feet on the ground in there and see really what we're truly making a decision about, because the pictures
Good question.
only show us, the worst. So it would be
So-
beneficial to be able to see the entire building.
So I will have to discuss that, because I think it's a good idea as far as this committee, since we are going to determine the future of it, that the committee should either see it with our eyes, like I seen it, Now, the only problem with that is that you got to take in a clear set of eyes and just be yourself and look at what you see. You can't go in there and try and judge like as that's your profession. And no, we're just in here to judge what we see. So, I mean, like I said, to me, personally, I wouldn't think, but it has to be cleared for that to happen. So I will reach out and see if that's possible, and we'll know. I'll send out an email if it can. And so,
Mr. Chair.
hold on, Ms. Gaskins. And it's going to be, the problem is with that request, it's going to be probably real hard, considering that I was planning on scheduling the next meeting for December the 3rd. Looking at this calendar, and we got the holidays coming up, I don't think that we will have or get access to that to be able to look at that or get it cleared to go in and look at it within the next 5 days.
Mr. President,
Go ahead, Ms. Duxine.
I also would like to add that Mayor is a person that required that people evacuate the building. So I think that her weigh in on whether that is possible
Right.
probably should be, allow her to
Oh.
make that judgment. Every time that someone has requested that we entered the building, it has had to go through her, so.
Okay, cool. Because I'd be more than willing to mask, hazmat suit, whatever is needed to go in there. That way I can, be a little bit more secure in whatever decision I make.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I will speak to Mr. Knight again to just be sure. I'm not opposed, but I think when you go in, you need to be aware of the environment that you're going into.
Yeah.
One side, the smell is worse than the other. I'll just say that. And you should not go in without
Something,
a
a
mask.
little bit of Vaseline maybe. That's a trick we use when we go in for nursing stuff.
I would, yeah.
So,
Mr. Chair.
just to piggyback off Mayor Nichols, like I said, I've been in the facility. I've been in the facility, so I have. So I've been in the facility. I have masked up to protect myself, and that's correct. One side stinks worse than the other. But Ms. Gaskin, was that?
Yeah, I'm making fun of you over here, sorry.
Oh yeah, I got you. I'm sorry. Did you ask for the floor?
I did. So I know, Ms. Dukestein, you had said in the past about the foundation, and it just popped in my head when I was purchasing my second house.
Excuse me. Hey, listen, I don't mean to be rude. Y'all can have y'all conversation, but I can hear it. So if y'all don't mind, just slide down there and continue it. I just want to be able to hear what's going on here. Can I address you on one thing? No, sir. There's no audience participation. There's no audience participation. So I'm just saying I can't hear anything. I don't want to hear any extra. I just want to hear the committee. You can't address the committee. So if you can't follow that rule, then I ask you to leave. Okay. So Ms. Gaskins, the floor is yours again.
Okay. So when they were talking about the building being cinder blocks or blocks, whatever they were saying, I do know that sometimes there are cracks, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there may or may not have been cracks in the Burgess and Nibbles. And I know my dad's sitting to the left of me, but he specifically said that certain cracks are a major problem, depending on if they're horizontal or vertical. Once we take those walls down, will we find cracks? Do we know if the foundation is 100% solid?
So, from my understanding, based on the Burgess and Nibel, they didn't take down anything either. I didn't see anything references a specific crack that would be towards the foundation. Now, the cracks that they're referring to were in a different space in the building, and those are completely repairable.
Okay, thank you.
I think that's would be important to denote whether it's on which side and why. I do think that it's, again, which side and why, the ones that were identified. The cinder blocks, that's what I was trying to say multiple times when we were going through this process, when everybody kept saying, this is going to be more and more cost. And that kind of, I took this note because I wanted to give RWB as much time with you all to answer questions. But what Mr. Bryant, which was the middle gentleman here, was saying, and he said the value versus the structure. If we are looking for an appraisal to talk about the value of the building, which is what we would be doing. So like in the home buying phase, you have two things. You have the inspector and then you have the appraiser. The appraiser comes out and tells you the value. The inspector comes out and tells you the structure. We have an in-house inspector that is Bill Knight. And so we have actually multiple. I hardly believe that they would be willing to give us information against their license. They have to give us the truth.
Like new permits,
Absolutely.
if needed.
Absolutely. Every step of the way, they are required. They are licensed by the state of Ohio. They cannot lead us down a path that we want to go on just on our own. And then the other thing is just the structure. And I don't want to take for granted. I believe that you all understood what he was saying, but just to elaborate on that, we would be taking the structure. The building is valuable. It is usable. So if we tear the building down, and I did, when I reached over to him, I asked him, I said, hey, can you let us know what it would be to tear the building down? Because I had forgot to email that. But if we tear the building down, we're tearing down something that's very usable. So in terms of value, we are evaluating whether or not it's valuable to our community. On that, I'll piggyback on this as well, since we're here. And I'll say this for Jillian also, and Ms. Clear's in the room, what she had discovered, Ms. Clear did, throughout the process, the difficulty in the Wi-Fi. And we had talked about, just bringing that up to speed. Is that really feasible? As we were digging into what was going on with Public Works, and there's this insane charge, and also we're having problems with our Wi-Fi here now. And so we talked about, we communicated with Wi-Fi, and this is a note that I got back, and it says, our Alta Fiber circuit went out. This happened in October, and then Alta Fiber and CBTS, they are the secondary company that was kind of hosting our Wi-Fi scenario. They separated in January of 2025, and why that's relevant, they separated based on so many unstable connections. We were a part of that. So those things were not, with the unstable internet that we have experienced both here and there, was not actually a part of the structure of that building. It was more an Alta Fiber issue. It's just taken us this long to kind of discover that. So when we started having problems that were modeling the problems that were over there, is when we kind of like, oh, how long have they, the secondary company, been having those issues? So I wanted to say that. And then the other thing is we talked about is I think this was again your question with the lead. Miss
was Miss
Gaston, the lead. And so I know that is one term that has been tossed around with Hamilton County with some of the grant dollars that we could potentially secure, that any of infrastructure or kind of things that we would need to, or resources that we could leverage. There are grants out there that we definitely, I know that's not a guarantee, but I know that those purposes to apply for those resources are out there through Hamilton County.
Okay. And last thing today, maybe, we talked about Bill Knight. So once all of this is done, and I know Mayor Nichols, I think it was she who suggested the environmental study at the very end. It's state law, right, to have a state inspector come in. Would we have another inspector outside of our in-house inspector come in and to give us that stamp of approval?
So I wish that you had asked that question when they were here, but I did ask that question of RWB, and he said that they are required to give that. Awesome. Especially because we already evacuated the building based on the environmental issues that are there. And so Mary Jo had brought up also bringing out the Board of Health. They actually will look over RWB's work to ensure that they have met every parameter.
Third party.
So it is and it is a regulated party.
Makes sense. Okay, that was my last question. Then you said something that triggered another. I am sorry. So RWB, are they the project manager or are they the general contractor? I want to make sure I have that understood as well.
That actually probably would have been a question for them,
Sorry. I will
Mr. Chair.
ask them.
but I can jot that down and ask.
Go ahead, Mayor Nichols.
Never mind, she's gonna ask, but
Okay.
I got from him speaking that he says
So he's
something,
general. He's the
he uses
overarching.
I can't remember, someone he said who does one phase, then some part, and then someone else does another part. That's what I gathered from him tonight.
Thank you.
So I do want to be clear. Ms. Gaston, are you asking that outside of Bill and outside of RWB, Mr. Knight, I'm sorry, a third party, is that what you're, Ms. Clear is
sounds
shaking her
like-
head.
That would
It
be the
sounds
Board
like
of
that's
Health.
what RWB
So
is.
you're comfortable with the Board of Health, which is what we
Miss-
initially said?
It sounds like RWB will have another state certified inspector come out. I just want to make sure that, we're in the right direction. If we need new permits, doing things by state regulations and laws, if we decide to go this route to rehab the building. Because again, for those who are watching in TV land, there are multiple options, and I just want to make sure I am 100% clear on rehabbing that building.
Ms. Brooks.
Thank you. RWB mentioned something called subject to appraisal, where we could get an estimate of what the property would be worth based off of the estimate, the proposal that they gave. Who would arrange for something like that?
Me.
Is that the plan?
Absolutely, if council desires that. I mean, I think that would be the right next step after we get it to a certain point. I think I had kind of mentioned that in all of the different possibilities that we talked about, so that we could know the value of what we have. I think it would be remiss of us to try to get a value right now because it's in a very poor condition. So,
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
So my question is, based off of RWB's statement, he said based off of the proposal that they have, implying now, is my understanding. So we could understand, it would help us guide whenever we get to the place where we look at all the options and start to look at costs associated with them.
I think he specifically said that we would have to wait until after because, okay, well, I did not hear that. So because one of the things that he talked about as it pertains to appraisal, Mr. Bryant said that you wouldn't get an appraisal on this side because you're asking for the value of the financial value. He specifically said that sounds more like finances, but if you're talking about structure, and appraisal is connected to finance, structure is connected to inspector.
Mr. Chairman.
Hold on. I don't want the interruptions. I just want to get through this. Please. Ms. Brooks.
Thanks. I heard them talk about financials, et cetera. But that's why Mr. Williams came in at the last moment. And my understanding of what he said is that right now we could get something called, reach out to someone, and he said it was a process or whatever called subject to appraisal to give you an estimate of what the property would be worth if the items that were done on their proposal was done.
Oh, you're right. He did say that. I apologize. I remember that now. Mr. Bryant, okay, that's fine if you want to do that. He said what you could do is take them this document and then so that, again, they would be potentially appraising that. So post the work. So they would be projecting an appraisal. And so I know you all don't know this, but I have real estate in my background, so I do understand the differences. So again, yes, I do recall that. I apologize. You're absolutely right. We could take that AIA to an appraiser, and they will be able to kind of estimate what the value of the building would be if we did that work. So is that something you're asking me to do? Can somebody, I don't know, Mayor, how does that work? Because I know we've got community constituents on here, and then we've got council members. So would that look like one of the council members, or am I just able to move on that? That is affordable. I don't think
If this committee could take that particular portion back to council and ask council, can
they make a motion
for administration to go do that?
I will do that.
I mean, we can do it, and you can do it on the first, as council on the first. Our next meeting will be the 3rd.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Julian.
So I was curious, do we have a value for the building right now? Like as it stands, mold and all?
No, we haven't had an appraisal on the building.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Brooks.
I'm not sure, and you mentioned a background in real estate. I hate to assume, so I'll just ask, would they give you an appraisal as is? And then and then after, once the proposal work theoretically is done?
that's possible. Yep.
Mr. Chair?
So would you comparatively hope for both? Okay.
Ms. Gaskins.
My biggest question at the end of the day is how much is it going to cost for us to keep this building, white box it, put programs in it, and to move forward? How much is that going to cost total? Burgess and Nyepel said between 5 and 8 million. Where do those funds come from?
You're married to that Burgess and
Yeah.
Nyepel quote. That is a projection or a forecasting of what they think, and they didn't even have any insight on what we potentially could put in there.
Yeah, we didn't have a bidding process.
No, I'm talking about.
Mr. Chair.
Excuse me.
I'm talking
Excuse me. Hold on. Excuse me.
I'm
Do not
talking
butt
about
out.
Burgess and Nyepel. That is the foundation of where you're basing your projected cost to say, hey, they said this. Understand bid, quote, all of that. That is somebody's opinion. So this is what we're doing right now to stabilize the building. We would get that. That information is subjective. I think that they, meaning RWB, said, hey, we couldn't give you with a professional expertise, we cannot give you those numbers. We would have to decide where we're even going to, how we're going to purpose the building in order to come up with that. And that's what I thought this committee was deciding, the future of 1500. So if we were to go with that AIA, then you would then continue this committee to continue deciding the future. If you decide otherwise, then we go with the fate of what you decide there, and we would figure it out along the way. I know that it doesn't sound like a concrete plan for those that need things super black and white. And I understand a mind that works that way, but I will give you Mount Healthy as an example. They have piece by piece secured buildings in their business area through grants. There was not a specific rollout or comprehensive plan that said this is what we're going to do. And I can tell you the face of that community looks different. But then you have College Hill, who's also our neighbor. They had a targeted group that worked on something very specific and raised funds in all kind of different ways, and had community variety that had expertise that they could bring to their plans for that. So every city and community does it differently according to the resources that they have within it. And because this has been such a journey for us, and I personally, this is where I don't want to choose for council.
Correct.
I want council to do that. And so if people has said, you know, what do you see? I think that I could offer a lot of suggestive businesses that would be profitable. I have done the work. I have constituents, peers in different sectors that could help with that. I know you guys know I used to work for a solar company. I know those things are, you know, the grants and the nuances that help with that. On the other side of it, I could bring a little bit more suggestion and expertise. But on this side of it, it seems in poor taste in my mind to give you a roadmap that is yours to choose and not mine.
I agree 1,000%, and I'm really encouraged because as I look in this room, we have some amazing people who are coming on council, who come all the time, who have expertise in a lot of different areas. And I think that we could kind of mirror College Hill and really figure out what to do. So I am just, if I can use the word nervous, I don't want to say, okay, well, let's do this with the building so that we can have a roadmap and then we get locked in with something. Because sometimes it kind of feels like if you say yes to this, then it's like, well, we can't change the idea anymore. So I just want to put that out there, that there is a little bit of hesitancy, because I want to ensure that our options remain open once we get dollar for dollar and which one is the best option.
So my response to that is, if you know anything about Hollywood and some of the streets back there and some of the history in College Hill, there are also lots of private dollars behind some of the work that they did. And unless you're sitting on this room and some of those future council members or people that are coming on in 2026 and they have millions of dollars to contribute, I think that's where you have to be realistic about what they had in their wheelhouse versus why I compared us more to Mount Healthy, and it is the wealth that makes the difference.
Because,
and I'm not,
yeah.
I don't know what you got in your
I
bank
know somebody
accounts.
got coins. I know somebody that got coins. We just gotta get them in here.
But coins long enough to create this is different. I mean, I'll just, multiple millionaires is what I'd say behind that.
So, with that, I'm just saying, listen,
Makes sense.
I believe it's multiple alleys to get funding for North College Hill. We have been, we've been missing in areas that we needed to be in, and we wasn't there. We didn't have the representation in them areas that will get them dollars here. I mean, you know, the new coming council, I'm hoping that they put it down there and, go find the money, because it's here. It's here, but it's up to, those on this side of the table to give that helping hand to assist finding that funds. I mean, it's just what happens to happen because we're a small community, and we got to work together, to actually send our community in the direction we all would like it to be.
I would also, Mr. President, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Ms. Duxey.
So, and I think that what you invite, when you invite community dollars as well, is a path that's chosen for you, because when people put their money behind things, they want it their way. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it is the best way for the city forward, which is why I personally prefer the nonpartisan dollars like grants. I can tell you that my son, and I've said this widely, they used to go to North College Hill School District, and then now they go to St. X, and I see when people donate dollars, you have people that sit on teams where their parents are donating money and they haven't actually earned a spot there. And I'm not accusing anybody, but I'm telling you that comes with donations. It's just the nature of the beast. And so there are dollars out there that we can achieve and get the money and be able to allocate what is right for the community without someone else driving their purpose. It's a more clean way to pursue that.
All right. Is there anything else, Ms. Vila? You have anything? Ms. Brooks?
Yes. So, Ms. Dukestein, you mentioned not that long ago something about confusion about this process. I'm really glad you brought that up because I am not clear. I sent an email for everyone to see many things that I don't understand about what this process is supposed to look like, how often we will meet, what the process is. I have no idea, so I would really love that.
So I'm a participant in this meeting as city administrator, as Mr. Wilson named me that. Mr. Wilson is in charge of this ad hoc committee, and he gets to designate what it looks like. There's the Open Meetings Act, that there is our charter that talks about committees. There is Ohio Revised Code that has some meeting requirements when you have a set amount of council members in a meeting, which is there are three that exist in this meeting. So there's rules that have to be followed. I am not able to distinguish those. What I can do is put together a cheat sheet for you and send that out. I can send it out to the entire group so you kind of know, but I know, I don't know if you're specifically talking about like the impromptu meetings, like this kind of seem like, oh, let's have a meeting this day, that day. That part is up to the chair. And I don't have any control. I just have to make sure that Mr. Wilson follows all of the laws and from the three different pieces, like the charter, the ORC, and the Open Meetings Act, that he's in lawful regulation with that. I don't have any control over that.
So I don't know what the rules are. Am I
Would you like me to create? I would be more than willing to
know.
create a cheat sheet for you. Would you like me to do that?
Yeah.
I mean, if you.
Yes. And
So, again, the roles are individuals here on this committee is to help us have this conversation for the determination of the future of 1500. Each individual that I appointed to this committee, I believe, will bring a good insight to us having this conversation. So, like I said, right now we're going through, we're getting the information we're needed, you know what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying, like we're eventually going to get to this final conversation as far as which direction 1500 is going. So right now I'm trying to get out all the questions that's in you guys' heads as far as, you know, about 1500. What do you need to know to make this, you know, this decision? Because at the end of the day, when we make that determination, we'll be sending that over to council.
so I have several questions because you've said those things and it's very vague to me. So when you say you've appointed certain people, it's my understanding that to be on this committee, council has to approve the people that are on the committee. Mm-hmm. So we want to understand what the process looks like. I know we're looking at the future of 1,500. I understand that. Is it going to be, is the mayor a member of this committee? Was she appointed?
Yes.
Was the city administrator appointed
Yes.
as a?
There was
So-
no motion.
So what happens when Ambria is also part of this? She hasn't been here. So when our co-chair isn't here, do I have the option to watch from home? Because I would have loved to be cooking Thanksgiving dinner right now, but I felt and that's no judgment. I don't know anybody's situation. This is, again, part of my questions.
Mr. President.
So, I'm not finished.
Okay.
So when, appointment, that's my question. When it comes to the decision, how many meetings, how long is this gonna go? Because I don't even have a timeline where I need to review all these things. Even tonight, we talked about, have they had a chance to look at an over 200-page document? It would be great if we knew the kind of time commitment it's going to take to actually make an educated decision. So I have an idea of how I can allot my time. That would be great. And then let's just say, after we lay out, okay, we'll meet once a week, or twice a week, whatever. Okay, so then we decide. Who is the we? What does that look like? Do we all vote? Is it a consensus vote? Is it a majority vote? I don't know what this process looks like.
So
I would love a detailed explanation.
So I believe I had sent you an email as far as what the process is. This committee does not make a vote. We don't vote on this committee. What we're doing is we make a determination that we then send to council. That's what all our stuff is, the end result. This is the recommendation that this committee came up with, and this is what we're sending to council. So the timeline for getting that done is, I would like to have it done before the 15th of December. So I've been trying to make sure that I get the meetings in a convenient scheduling. So I do send it all out as now. Like I said, I got 3 minutes to go, and I'm gonna move to solving that issue. Huh?
Mr. President,
Yes.
may I address Ms. Brooks?
Yes. Go ahead.
So, Ms. Brooks, when Iris or anyone says Mr. President, the nature of that is to just allow him to know that I would like to speak. It is not to interrupt you. So,
Thank you.
And I realize that you're not on council, so you don't know that, which is why I said that I don't mind for non-council members putting together a cheat sheet. So to answer your question about the attendance, people have the responsibility of notifying Mr. Wilson whether they'll be here or not, but as long as there is a quorum, and that is in the set of rules of the 3 places that I'm referring to, we can go forward and meet, similar to you are on other commissions where they do vote. In committees, they do not. So if you will allow me to put together that cheat sheet for you, I think reading through that kind of helps you understand the preface for this meeting. And then it won't seem like when I say, Mr. President, that I'm interrupting you. And that's just a gentle way to say, hey, I'd like to respond to what she's saying. It's not a free pass to interrupt you.
Thank you.
And it will help you with things like how will or can we still meet? Where are those other members? All of those things.
Mr. President, Chair, I'm not sure it's changed.
Chair.
Mr. Chair.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, sorry, Chair, Mr.
Okay.
President. I should have been saying that.
You did send me an email. Thank you for that. So I used the word vote. So you said we will send a recommendation. Okay, so it's not a vote.
Right.
So when you say we send a recommendation, what does that look like? Are we all in favor of this? All, like, what does that look like?
Mr.
I
Chair.
don't know.
Yes.
Ms. Brooks, it's more like a consensus. When you get the information, when everyone has received information that they're satisfied with, we have a conversation. You can say, okay, do you agree? People say why they don't agree. People say why they do agree. So you get a consensus. So someone would ask the chair, vice chair, okay, so our consensus is that this is what we're sending to council, if you're sending anything. If you get all the information and you come to the conclusion that we just can't make a decision about this, then nothing is to be sent to council for council to agree or make a decision on. So it's like you get all this information. Are you satisfied with your information that you received? Right. And then we have a discussion. I'll be honest, we have not had any instance or situations where we can have a discussion. We've just gotten information, and I do think that we need to get to a place where we say, hey, this is what we received. What do you think about this, or why do you think that about it? Sort of like someone can say something you don't agree with, but they can say something to make you change your mind and vice versa, or disagree with it or agree with it. So I think that these conversations need to, at some point, turn to a conversation and not just like a dump filter, right?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, I'm gonna let you last one, and then after that, I'm gonna set the schedule for this next meeting, and then we're gonna adjourn.
Mr. President, can I, Mr. Chair, I'm sorry, can I say one thing after Ms. Jillian?
You must really want to mess with my vacation. Yes, I'll give you that time. Go ahead.
I don't know if you have the agenda for next meeting set or not. If you do, I apologize, but I think it would be beneficial if we had kind of a general planning meeting where we did go over a lot of the stuff in her email, because I shared a lot of the same concerns, confusions, questions that she had. That way we can really map out, so we can actually visualize progress rather than just the kind of, let's ask a lot of questions and then, you know, I don't really understand, like, you know, if we're making progress, if we're not. I think that would be something that I would find helpful.
So what she's saying is that we're getting a lot of questions, but no answers. You have to talk amongst yourselves in order to be able to understand. Maybe Ms. Clear understood something that Ms. Brooks didn't, and vice versa. So there's no conversation. We're just spitting questions out, in which I can understand the frustration. A lot of it, you know, I understand or know the answer to, but it's not what I know, because typically in these type of forums, I come as, you need to make quorum. I can give my input, but the decision has to be right. I have an input, but it's a consensus of everyone. So I think we're just question. Oh, did I get the answer to the question that I asked? Right. So there's no discussion. And a lot of things in situations, personal, business, what have you, if you just the receiver and you're not regurgitating or taking anything back, you're in the same spot. So I can see why the frustration, you're walking away like, okay, we talked about that, but I just heard it, I don't have an answer to it. So I think that we need to be able to discuss what we're hearing and what we're talking about. And I think that's a good point, Ms. Clear, I'm trying not to call you by your first name, sorry.
Okay.
That she made, because you do walk away with this overwhelming feeling of what did I just sit through? Because there's no dialogue. The only dialogue is coming from, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to hear this. So we need to have some type of dialogue in order to move forward. Yeah. Right. So you can't make a decision if it's just question. So,
Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Dukestein asked for the floor, and then after that, I'm going to set this meeting, and then I'm going to dismiss. I apologize. Anything you have, just email it over.
and I'm sorry, I would like to
I
say
wanna
this, Mr.
distribute
Wilson, I would ask that,
Oh, you,
Have something for everybody.
oh, yeah, you can distribute.
I would ask that you would consider everybody's time
Yeah.
if they can make that meeting.
Yes.
Well, that's what I'm trying to put
Okay.
out and
It's,
figure out.
okay, because the other meetings have just been, we're gonna have it on this day, and I know today was hard for me.
Real.
And I appreciate you coming
Okay.
through.
Are you
good?
done?
Okay, so I would like to set the next meeting. I had December the 3rd in mind at 6, from 6 to 7:30. Again, is there anyone on this committee that has an issue with that date and time?
Mr. Chair,
You said at 6?
Yes, 6 to 7:30.
Is the planning commission usually the first Wednesday? Mm-hmm. The planning commission usually generally meets on the first Wednesday. Are you guys usually done by 6?
Sometimes, but I'm not going to be able to do 2 meetings back to back.
Okay. So if
Mr. Chair,
Ms. Gaskins,
may I make a suggestion?
yes.
I think it would be best if we can send out an email with a poll and ask people if they're available at XYZ date and time, and people pick and you take the best, because again, we are missing Councilwoman Chichester and Ms. Ambrie Starr. We're missing some key people. So I think if I may suggest that you just send out an email and we respond in a poll
with a couple
Mr.
of dates.
with a couple of dates. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I don't know that we can do that because we have 3 council members in this email circulation.
Well, if I have no idea what's
When
being
you
said.
respond all,
Mhm.
that is where we get in trouble
Even
via,
Even if we're responding to a poll. So if I don't say, Mr. Wilson, I am available on XYZ day, and then we're having a discussion. But if we are submitting poll responses, would you say, Madam Mayor?
You should be able to respond individually.
I mean,
Not all.
you can respond, yes. So it's the respond all on an email that has or 3 or more council members on. It's not, I know the kind of thought around that is if you're talking about meeting items, it's not just that, it's anything that you're responding all to, like even if, so, yeah.
I would not respond all.
So if we respond to a poll and Mr. Wilson is the author of that poll, he gets the information. That's not us necessarily deliberating, correct? I'm just trying to make it easy because we're missing people.
I got a question for this. Well, I'll send it out. I'll just send it out in the email and let you guys just respond to me individually as far as council. Council don't respond to me, reply all. As far as the other committee members, just give me an answer. I will send this out. I will have this sent out to you guys in an hour from now. And then we'll go from there as far as setting the date. I'll put all the other 2 members on. So with that being said, this subcommittee meeting is adjourned. Yes.
Call the Special Budget and Finance Committee meeting to discuss the IAFF agreement to order. So we're calling this meeting to order, and did you guys have a chance to look over the agreement that Ms. Dukesing sent over in the email?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Ms. Gaston.
I received the email at the 3 o'clock hour, and unfortunately I wasn't able to read it all, but I do have a few questions.
So it was the same agreement that we were given
The only updates to that agreement, there were a few updates to the agreement. Those are the ones I wrote in blue. But if you will remember, there was a prior document where you got it weeks ago. And so if you read that document and then compared it to the document where I wrote in blue, there was only a couple spaces, maybe like 3 at the most.
So the only thing I could think of off the top of my head that I had a question about, because again, my computer's dead, I apologize. But
Ms. Gaston, can I pause you for a quick second?
absolutely.
I apologize. Madam Chair, I feel like this stuff should be done in executive session and not in a public meeting.
Well,
have a good
let's
point.
call executive session, because I was under the impression that you guys were gonna read, and we just was going to say yay or nay on passing it on, but if you guys need further discussion, we can put it into executive session.
In a minute, Madam Chair. Well, I'm not, if you want to go into executive session, fine. What we've done in the past, if we've talked about everything on the document with the exception of salaries, and then when we go into salaries, we'll go into executive session. That's what we've done in the past. But if you
I'm not
want,
comfortable with that.
okay.
Give me a second to get my,
And I know you asked if we've had a chance, so I have not gotten a chance to get all the way through it either, because we did only just get this at 3:45, and we've had meetings since 6 o'clock.
well, all right. So to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official, or investigation of charges or complaints against a public employee, official, licensee, regulated individual, unless the public employee, official, licensee, or regulated individual requests a public hearing. So I move that we move into executive session to discuss the IAFF agreement.
I'll second.
Ms. Zord, Ms. Gaston?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, thank you. We move to executive session. All righty, we're back from executive session, and we're going to adjourn the Budget and Finance Committee special meeting at 8:44. Thank you.
You have to go reset the building.